there, thanks for joining me to color. Today we're going to be working on these adorable CC Designs images. This one is called Bauregards pencil, and this one is called Beatrice's Crayon, and this is a card kit, so I'll put a link to that down in the description box in case you'd like to grab one up. This time you're going to get both of these stamps in your kit and enough supplies to make 3 of these cards, so you can decide if you want to use all boys, all girls, or switch it up and do whatever you want. But this time's card is a pop-up or a gift card holder. So you're going to have a spot here where you can put whatever gift card you want. I thought this would be perfect with school starting. You could give the teacher a thank you card and put a little gift card in there for some coffee or a local restaurant or something like that. But it doesn't have to be for a teacher. You can also use it to give to a friend to say thanks, or to someone you know who maybe needs a little pick-me-up. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and we'll get started. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and color up Bauregard here first, and we're going to start with his skin. For that, we're going to use E11, 21, 00, E13 for some accents, and then for his cheeks, we're going to use our 21 and 20. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start with our E11 first. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say that it's going to be darker on this side over here. So let's go ahead and do a little bit of our E11 over here. And for this leg. And then he's got his hand here, so let's go ahead and add a little dab there. And then I'm going to add a little dab to each of these fingers, and I'm going to go on his neck. And then we'll do his face after we've done all of this part. Then we'll add E21. I'm going to go ahead and fill in his leg with this side. Whoops, guess you gotta do his hand too, huh? Not too much of his fingers left there, but we'll give them a little dab. And then we'll come in with our E00 to fill it in. And then I'm just going to come back with a second coat. Darken it up just a little bit. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my E13 and I'm just going to give it a little shadow right here along the edge of this leg and the front of this leg. And then I'm going to do the bottom of his hand, kind of curve up a little bit, and maybe dab a little bit on each of these fingers. And I'm going to go ahead and color his neck too, because it's going to be pretty shadowed down there. And then I'm going to grab my E11 again. And for his face, let's go with a little bit right here on his ear. And then I'm going to bring this down and around over this way, up past the pencil, and this ear. And then for his hair, we're going to kind of go up in here, and dab it in between each of these little spaces where his hair is going up. And then we'll add our 21. And we're going to brush this in. And then we'll add our E00. And since I'm going to give it 2 coats, I'm going to leave him like that for a minute. And then we're going to come in and add our R21 to his cheeks. I'm going to give him a little circle kind of to the outside of his eye. And then I'm going to soften that with my R20. Let's make them a little bit wider. Over that edge a little bit. Now I'm going to come back with my E21. Brush right over that second time. And then we'll add E00. I'm going to go ahead and wipe over his entire face. Give a little bit extra right here on the sides where my 21 stopped. And I think I'll pink up his cheeks a little bit more. So let's go with our 21 again. And then 20. And then we'll take our E13, and I'm just going to use this a little bit right along this pencil where it's touching his cheek. And then I'm going to give a little dab inside of his ear. And then up here where his hair is, I'm just going to kind of go where each little valley for his hair is going up into a little V. I'm just going to put a little dab of color up in there to darken up some of those little spots. All right, let's go ahead and do his hair next. So for that, we're going to use E33, YR23, and YR21. We're going to start with our E33. I'm going to say that his part is going to be right here where this little hair is tweaking up. So from there, what I want to do, just move this, I want the hair to go in the direction that his head is. So we're going to go right here, and I'm going to bring it down and kind of curve it around to the side. And same for the bottom. Let's go up this way. And it's okay if it's not perfect, because we're going to come back with a second coat here in just a bit. And then we'll do the same thing over here. So we're going to go around with his head. And then here in the front, even though we're going to be a little bit curved here, I'm going to kind of go straight when it comes down away from this little tweaky part of his hair. So we've got a few little dashes in there. And then we're going to do the same thing with our YR23. So we're going to come over this way, and I'm just going to go make sure my lines go in a curve. And then we'll add YR21 in the same way. Let's make some more curvy lines. And I'm trying to not smush my pen down too hard so that it leaves, the lines are thinner. The harder you smush the pen, or the longer you leave it on there, the thicker your lines will be. So I tried to do really quick, skinny strokes. I'm actually going to leave some of that white in there. I like how that looks. But I'm going to come back with my E33 and add that back in. Again, skinny stripes. Trying to keep them not too fat. Pretty easy, right? Next, let's do his shirt. Okay, so for his shirt, we're going to use C3, C1 in our colorless blender. And we'll start with C3. So C3, let's do right where his arm is touching the pencil. And then I'm going to do right next to right here on the back of his shirt. And then we're going to do a little dab along the bottom of his sleeve. And then we'll switch to C1. Go ahead and fill in this front part of his shirt and the back. And then here we're going to touch down on our C3. We're going to flick up, but I'm going to leave a little bit of white. And then I'll take my colorless blender on this part and touch down on my C1 and flick to the edge of my weight. And since we have these colors out, let's go ahead and do our pencil up here too. So again, we're going to do C3. And then our pencil has this little silver band on it. So let's go ahead and swipe this. And then we'll do C1. And then again with our colorless blender on that edge. I'm actually going to darken up this little silver band up here at the top. I'm going to go with a second coat. And then our one. And then our colorless blender. Soften that edge. Let's go ahead and do his shorts next. For that, we'll use our 29, 17, and 14. And we'll start with our R29. And we're not going to do anything too fancy. Let's just go right down the edge of that pencil. And then down here, there's some little crosshatch marks. I'm going to go ahead and cover those up. And then I'm going to give this front little section here, I'm going to color that in. Next, we'll do R17. And we just want to soften the edge of that line. And then down here, I'm going to brush it out a little bit further. And then our 14 to fill it in. I'm touching down on top of my 17 to soften that edge. Let's do his boots next with E49, 47, 44, and 43. And we're going to start with 49. So I'm going to go ahead and go right back here on the back of his boot and curve it around on the bottom. And for this shoe, we're going to curve around on this side and up to his foot. Then we'll add some 47. .44's next. I'm going to go ahead and cover this shoe all the way in. Then we'll add 43 to this shoe. I'm going to go ahead and wipe over the entire shoe. Even though I colored this one in, I'm going to give it a quick swipe too. That kind of helps soften all those colors together. Alright, for our pencil lead, we're going to use E31 and 30. So nothing too technical. We're going to do 31. We're going to come along the bottom. And then we'll do 30 to fill it in. Now I'm going to go ahead and darken it up. So let's do our 31 again. And then 30 to soften that edge real quick. For pencil, we're going to use YR14, Y38, and Y17. So we'll start with our YR14, and I'm not going to do anything too fancy. I'm just going to go ahead and run a line up the bottom of this pencil. Make it just a little bit wider. And then we'll add some Y38 to that. And making sure to wipe over the edge of that YR14. And then we'll add Y17. And I'm going to give it 2 coats. I'm going to grab my YR14 again. Y38. And then Y17. I'm not going to go all the way to the top this time. I'm just going to kind of soften the edge of this Y38. Alright, for his pencil eraser, we're going to use our 14 and 22. And we'll give it a quick swipe with our R14. And then a quick swipe of our R22. I'm going to give it 2 coats, so I'm not going to go all the way to the edge. And another coat of our 14. And then clear to the top with our 22. And there is Beauregard. So let's go ahead and do Beatrice. And we're going to use all of the same colors that we used for him. So again, for the skin, we're going to use E13, 11, 21, 00. And for the cheeks, we use 21 and R21 and 20. So we're going to start with E11. So she has a little bit of her hand showing right here. And her neck. And then for her, we'll go a little bit on this side of her ear. And then we're going to pull this 11 around to the other side. And then we're going to go up here in between her cute little hair. I'm just kind of making a squiggly line there, trying not to get any on her hair. And then we'll add some 21. Since her fingers are so small, I'm going to go ahead and fill those in. And her neck. And then we want to brush a little bit away from this line up here. And then we're going to add E00. I went ahead and filled that finger in. And then let's add a little bit to her face. We'll brush away from our 21. That looks crazy, but that's okay because we're going to give it 2 coats. And we'll come in with our cheeks of R21. And remember, go on a little bit to the outside of her eye. And then I'm going to soften that with R20. And I'm going to come back with the second coat of, oh, not that one, of E21. And softening those edges a little bit. And then we will cover her entire face with our E00. And I tend to just go over, swipe over the entire face. And where there's a little line right here at the top, I'm going to go ahead and give it an extra swipe. And then I'm going to come in with my 13. And I'm going to give it a little shadow on the bottom of her hand, her neck, a little bit. I'm trying to be very careful, just get a little bit on there. And then up here, I'm going to do just like I did for Bernard's hair, I'm just going to add a little bit in each of these little valleys. I don't want to get too crazy, because it's pretty dark. And I'm going to give each of these little ears a little spot. And I think I'll go right next to her face on this side, since it's tilted down right there. For her hair, we'll use E33, YR23, and YR21, like we did for Bernard, or Bauregard. Okay, so E33. So again, I want her to have a little bit of a part. So I'm going to go with, just got like a little hill right here that goes dip. I'm going to use that as my section for a part right here. And so same thing that we did for him. We want it to curve with his head, so I'm going to go like this, and I'm trying to keep my lines pretty skinny. I'm trying to be quick when I put my pin down. I'm making a quick little swipe, and right here I'm going to make it a little bit straight right there because her bangs are going to fall flat. And then we'll continue this way, and again curve with her hair, with her head. And we're going to come back in, so don't worry if it looks a little patchy. And then up here, let's give it a few little swipes in her pigtail. That looks good for a first coat. Then we'll add YR23. So we're just going to add some more stripes. Try to be quick. That way your stripes will be smaller. And then add some to the pigtail. And then we'll add some YR21 next. And you could go over the entire thing if you just want to fill it in. That's up to you. I'm going to leave some white this time. Her hair's light enough that I kind of like it. Add some to her pigtail. And then I'm going to come in with my E33 and add some of those stripes back in. And they do not have to be on the exact same space that you put them last time. Just make sure that they're curved. Let's go ahead and do her dress and an alternate stripe on her socks with our 29, 17, and 14. So I'm going to start with our R29. Let's go ahead and start down here on her sock. So I'm going to pick this middle stripe for this sock. And this top one. And then for her dress, we're going to do the top part. We're not going to do the underskirt. So let's do the sleeve. And then over here, we're going to go up. I'm going to brush it away from this arm a little bit. And then for this sleeve, we're going to go along the bottom and the back. And I went ahead and put my line down first, and then I'm coming back and making it a little bit thicker. And then we're going to want to do our bow. And then for the skirt, I'm just going to go up each of these little lines. That. Okay, then we're going to add R17. So let's go ahead and start down here on our sock. Add some to our bow. And then for these little stripes, I'm going to make this a little bit wider so it kind of makes a little triangle. And then we want to fill it in with our R14. to be really careful and not get my red everywhere else because it does not come off.
Next, let's work on our alternate stripe for our sock with C3-1 and our colorless blender. And we'll also do our underskirt with this. So let's do C3. And for my underskirt, I'm going to go with a little bit underneath of the red. And then our sock, we're going to grab a little bit on each side. Then we'll add C1 to that. So again, I'm brushing right over our C3, adding a little dab of our 1. And then we'll go over it with our colorless blender to soften any space between the white. And right here on my crayon, I have a little bit of red. I'm going to see if I can get that off of there. A little bit. Soften that up. Next, let's do her shoe. E49, 47, 44, and 43. $49. I'm going to do 49 for this shoe along the bottom. And up this side. And then over here, we're going to do along the bottom of this side. Then we'll add some 47. $44. And our 43 to fill that in. I've just got a little bit of her shoe showing on that side, so don't forget that. And then I like to swipe over the whole shoe with this. Alright, that leaves us with the crayon. So let's do YG 25, 03, and 01 for that. And you can make your crayon any color you wanted. I'm going to start with my YG 25, and I actually have these little hair things up here, so I'm going to go ahead and swipe over that first. I'm just going to color them in, and then after we do our crayon, I will come back and put the little red heart in there. And you can use your Spica pen or your R29 for that. Okay, so for our pencil here, so I went ahead and colored the part of the crayon in, and then I'm just going to come along the bottom of her hand here, like this all the way down, and then for this little tag, we're going to make this darker. So I'm going to go in here, like that, and then we'll add YG 23 on top of that. Go ahead and brush a little bit of the edge of this. And then we'll fill it in with our YG01. I'm going to come back with my YG 25, and I'm going to give the crayon a second coat. Darken that up. And I'm going to take my R29,
And I know these little hearts up here are really small. I'm going to be really careful and fill those in. You could also use your Spigot glitter pen, that would fill those in too. Alright, so through the joy of video editing, I went ahead and cut out Beauregard here so that we wouldn't have to do that. You wouldn't have to watch me, it takes me forever. I did go ahead and leave a little bit of a white on the outside of him, but you could cut him out right on the line. So let's go ahead and put our card together. I'm going to start with this white piece. It goes on the inside in case you would like to write a message or stamp a greeting in there. Since I picked the brown cardstock this time, I thought we could put this little white piece in here to have something to stamp on. So I'm going to go ahead and put that down. And then I also tossed in a little heart so that you could put that on your card if you wanted. I started out, I was going to do a little apple, but there was so many, the little stem that came with the apple. Here, let me put this down here and I'll show you. A little stem that was in the CC Design stamp, I put it in here, it was so small I was afraid that it would get lost, so I decided that we would go with a little heart instead. Okay, so I'm going to put that in there. And then for the front, you're going to attach this yellow piece, or you could use the Aqua on the other side. And next comes the yardsticks. I thought this was perfect for a school theme because it's got little rulers all over it. I found that in my paper pile. And your piece may look a little bit different than mine because it had rulers all over it, so there's no telling what you're going to get. Okay, so this is next, this little aqua piece, or if you did the aqua instead on the bottom, you could do the yellow on the top. And I'm going to put that right here. Next is this one. And this one had like little cards on the back, so you're not going to be able to use that. And then I made sure to leave a little bit showing of my aqua. And next we'll have this little photo corner. And again, if you flipped your paper over at the bottom, you might want to use the yellow side. And this one I made go up onto the brown. Oops, I think I got it in the wrong corner. Oh, I do. Put it over here. I made them just the opposite on the girl card, so stick that on there. Okay, then we're going to put thanks, but I want to make sure he is on here, so let's do right here for him. And I'll put a little bit of glue on the back of this. And I'll put this right here. Move him a minute. Give it a little squishing. And then for him, I put him on some pop dots, and I went ahead and put those on before so that you wouldn't have to watch me pull them off and be a pill, but you just want to pull the paper off the back. And then you can put him on here. I'm just going to go ahead and leave him going off there a little bit, but I found that when I put it in a regular size envelope, because I folded it, it's going to be, the envelope's going to be just a little bit bigger at the top, or when you stick it in there, just so you know. It will fit in, and you may need to move him over a little bit more, maybe move him up, move him over, it depends, so make sure to watch that, but the envelope will be a little bit larger than the card this time. And then you're going to get your gift card, and you just, oh, I forgot to do this part. You need a little piece of tape in here. So you're going to need a piece of score tape, so I'm going to go ahead and grab that. Let's see, what size do I need? Let's go like this. You should probably do this part first. I forgot.
Okay, so you're going to open your card, you're going to flatten it out, and you're going to want to put this up here at the top of one of the sides of the fold. And then I just make sure to give it a good squish with my fingernail or something so that it will stick down. And then you're just going to fold it shut like this. Now you'll have a little pocket. Let's see if you did that first, you won't have to worry about it. There'll be a little pocket right here that you can put your gift card in like this, and it will stick. And this is just a gift card I had sitting on my desk. It's old and used up. I use it for painting scraping paint, so I thought that would be a perfect choice to show you how it went in there. But that's how it works. And then down here you could write something. You could stamp a sentiment, or write a personal greeting in there. Be perfect. But there's Bauregard, and then here's Beatrice. So I hope you had fun coloring today. If you have a question, leave me a comment down below, and I will make sure to get back to you. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button if you like the video, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and hit the little bell next to it so you'll be notified whenever I upload a new video. Otherwise, I hope you're having a fabulous day, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.